So let me start by saying I'm really happy to be here. My name is Kathy Stevens. I've been in the health and fitness industry now as a college professor and a fitness performer, producer, as well as trainer for 40 plus years. But what I like doing most is teaching group exercise, and in particular with special products like the 60 Up Balance Trainer that allow people to work on their fitness regardless of their stage or age in life. And that's why I am so excited to be joining the team. Well, hey there, Joanne. Thanks for letting me know you're here and giving me that little thumbs up. So I just did a little self-intro. We'll learn more about each other as the weeks go on. And I would like to encourage you at the end of this class or anytime during this class to type a little something about yourself to me, whether that's why you bought the 60 plus or what your goals are. I might not be able to respond to them today because we've got a lot to get to. Hey, Dan, glad you made it. But I definitely want to get to know you because the beauty of this format is that you get to know me, but you have to let me know about you, okay? So feel free to tell me your goals and maybe we can work on them in coming workouts. So as I promised, Wellness Wednesday, what does that mean? That means I'm going to use some of my past to share with you some great tips on how to stay in shape, how to eat properly, how to do things on the 60 plus or even in between your 60 plus workouts that will add to or improve your state of wellness. Well, guess what today's tip is? Today's tip is all about the brain fitness and brain connection. You all know from taking Dan's class that the brain is the central commander of everything we think, we do, and we feel. And because of that, it's very important to work on brain health. You may have heard that doing things like taking up a new task or learning a new sport or even doing certain games like word games or puzzles can help with brain health. And along with that, it's important to remember that a proper diet, hydration, getting enough rest and sleep, and exercising regularly are also important for brain health and connectivity. But I want to focus a little bit more on the connectivity today. So you probably remember from your basic science class that your brain has two hemispheres. It has a right and a left. And those two sides of the brain are responsible for different functions. For example, the right hemisphere is the more creative side in terms of thinking and connecting. And the left side is the more logical, statistics and math and all those things. But they need to work together. Also, believe it or not, the right hemisphere controls the left movement of your body, the left side, and vice versa. So you can see where it is so important to be recruiting through those fibers that connect, those nerve fibers that connect the two sides of the brain. Recruit them so that they work together and complement each other. And as a matter of fact, by doing that, you improve your speed of memory, your ability to think and to do things at a much more proficient level. So, did you know that there are actually certain movement patterns that automatically stimulate that communication and that functional collaboration between the right and the left hemispheres? You're probably wondering what those moves are. Well, guess what? There are a lot of moves that Dan does and that I'll be doing today as part of our functional focus. Some are what we call cross-lateral patterns. What's that? Well, you did it as a baby, cross-crawling, where both sides are working, but kind of in opposite action, like one hand and the opposite knee, when you're walking, when you're climbing. Those are all considered cross-lateral movement patterns. Then there's also cross-midline patterns, and that means when you take one side of the body and you cross the center line of the body. That's very important in terms of brain communication. And then last but not least are what I call cross-ups. And those are those movement patterns. They're just hard to do and make you really have to think and communicate between the two sides of the brain, like patting your head and rubbing your belly. So believe it or not, those movement patterns, which you've been doing with Dan, are very brain healthy and in the long run will help to keep that active communication between both sides of the brain. And one thing I want you to remember is that it's never too late to work on communication and collaboration with your brain. So with that said, I think it's time to get up and start our warm-up. Before we do, I want you to remember that you need to have some water nearby because I did mention the importance of hydration to the brain, and I will take breaks. I'd also like you to have something, a towel, something in case your hands get a little sweaty because we'll be doing a little cardio component. You might need that to wipe down your handles or your board. And of course, you're going to need the Brain Trainer Especial 60 up training board. And you'll want to have it on a carpet or a mat, not a hardwood surface. You can see I've got a hardwood floor with a nice mat. And the thicker the mat or carpet, actually the more stable or the little bit less shakiness you'll feel on that board. So if you're a beginner, first timer, then you might want to have a thicker mat or thicker carpet. Are you ready? I am. I'm going to put on a little bit of a background beat. Hopefully it doesn't get too loud or irritating. And if it does, somebody just kind of yell out to me. Let's see who's here today. Got Kimberly. Good afternoon. You're on the East Coast. Morning here. And we've got Chad. Thanks for joining us, Chad. George. Wow, a couple guys. I love that. Diana or Diane and Joanne. Well, again, I mentioned earlier, I would love to see some comments and even some info about you in the box, which after class I'll go through and kind of make a mental note of some things maybe to bring up or cover in future Wellness Wednesdays. All right, so here we go. Let me know if the music is too loud. I don't think so. Or if I'm not speaking loud enough for you. All right, I'll check my text box every once in a while. But for right now, what I want to do is have you get up. If you're not already up, come behind the 60-up board. For those of you that are new, the handles with grippers are there so that we can easily find our balance. The board rocks, but with a safety stop on either side. So right now as we're warming up, I want you to just kind of play around and feel that stop point before we get into some of those crossover movements I talked about. So we're just going to kind of bend one knee and shift our body weight, leaning and feeling how the body hits bottom. The board touches. Think about it, feel for it. Let one heel start to come up, warming up the ankles and the feet. Nice. Now I want you to always be aware of your posture. I'm going to give you a few key points right now. You want to have your head, your alignment with the head over shoulders, shoulders over hips, knees in the direction of the toes. And I like to use the word engage when I talk about just slightly tightening the core muscles that surround the spine. Pulling in just enough to keep everything stacked up in that nice alignment. Now pull your shoulders down and back a little bit. And let's bring the feet to about shoulder width apart. Now from here, let's just play around with lifting up onto our toes and then rocking back and try to get the toes a little bit off the floor. We're just going to rock and roll through those ankles, loosening up those lower legs. We'll be doing a lot of stepping patterns, so it's important to bring the mobility, the range of motion into those ankles. Some of you might be having trouble getting the toes to come off the floor when you rock back into your heels. Let me show you from the side what I'm doing. So I'm coming up on my heels and I'm rocking back. Now you'll also notice I have a couch right here. And it's not a bad idea to have a chair or couch nearby in case you feel the need to sit down. Sometimes we get a little tired, or if you feel a little bit lightheaded or dizzy at all, please do sit down to rest. Safety first. All right? Let's go ahead, rocking a couple more times, working at getting those toes up. You got it. Last one. And now let's come down to a flat foot position, and let's just bend the knees and sit slightly back into the hips. We're working up that body. You want to sit back? Think of sticking your tailbone to the back wall. And the knees will bend naturally. So it's almost like there's a little bar stool behind you, and you want to tap it. It's a high stool. So don't sit too deep. We're warming up. And as you come out of it, squeeze your glutes. Let's activate. Put a little mind to muscle already in the warm-up. Squeezing and tightening the buttocks, sitting back and releasing. Let's do a couple more. Let's do last one. And then we're going to stand tall. Now, we're going to hinge from the hip, folding in half, and then rolling up through the spine, nice and slow. Again, taking that mobility, that joint range of motion all the way up through the spine. So stick your fanning to the back wall, soften your knees, and then roll through, hands on your poles. Here we go. Flat back, roll through. Let's have a nice inhale on the way down and an exhale on the way up. Oh, that feels so good this morning. Hope it feels good in the afternoon on the East Coast too. All the way up. Let's do one more time. Flat back down. Everything in the backside should be feeling a little looser and a little warmer. Stand tall, and let's just start with an easy knee bend again, right and left. And as you're bending, I want you to feel the pressure going to your toe and then bring your heel down. Rocking. We're going to be doing this up on the board as well. Let's just rehearse it on the floor. Nice. We got it. Feel that pressure go from ball of the foot to heel of the foot to knee to hip. Keep that core up, that nice tall alignment and posture. Let's do two more. Last set. And then we're going to bring it back to the center. Stand a little tall and look right, center, left. Now this might make you a little wobbly. So remember to hold on to those poles. Loosen and limber the neck. Good. And now we're just going to tilt it gently. So tilt it right, center, left. Good. Again, ear towards the shoulder, but very gentle. Those vertebrae of the neck, they're very light, they're very small. You want to be gentle with the muscles that surround them. Good. Let's do one more on each side. Oh, that should feel kind of good. And then bring it to the center, ready to approach the board. Let's start with our taps. Tap and release, right behind number one. Now, if your board is new, try to get an idea of where the one is. The one is right inside the two center holes that hold your poles. Now take and tap on two, just with the toe. Two is on the outside of those center holes. Take your time, no rush. Feel how when you touch two, the board wants to rock a little bit, and you have to really think about standing tall on that leg that's on the ground to stabilize the board. Now look over to the outside of the wider pole holes and tap on the three, or right behind the three. Good. This is just a little mind to board. Learning your board, getting friendly with those numbers, knowing that it's always okay. Let's go back to the two. It's always okay to look down, but that your goal is to get the proprioception for where it is so that you can tap it and be looking up towards me. Now let's go back to the ones. Tap up with the toe and down. Think about that standing leg. Think about that standing posture and alignment. And we're going to shift it here, swift and shift. We're going to touch the heels, so heel touch. Now again, this might be a little more difficult on the one because you have to have a little more ankle mobility to manage this. But try to get that toe up position for me. Good. Keep going. I'm just going to check and make sure you can hear me. All right. Looks like we're doing okay. Are you still hitting the heels? How about if we take it to the two? Heel to two, to the floor. Now there's that moment right when the foot lifts off the board that you really have to think about your stabilization. Mind to muscle. Stay tall. Good. Heel to three if you can. Now for some of us that have shorter legs, not me, I have pretty long legs, you might find that three is just too much of a reach. In that case, stay at about a 2.5. Good. Nice. Let's go back to twos. Heel taps on twos. Warming up those shin muscles. Good. Back to one. And also just warming up to that rocking sensation on the board. Good. Nice. Let's do 4 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. Now let's take a second and just kind of shake out the hands. Lift the heels a little bit. That's a lot of concentration. All right. Now put those hands back on and wiggle the fingers a little. You don't want to over grip. Remember, you don't want to have a death grip on those handles. That can actually elevate the blood pressure a little. So keep a nice light grip. Same thing with handheld weights. All right, now we're going to take one foot and we're going to tap, 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 and down. The other way. Tap, tap, tap. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3. I want you to notice what I'm doing. I'm crossing my midline. Remember those brain stimulating exercises? So let's take a second to do this. Cross the red line and then step down. Cross, back, cross, step down. Takes a while to get it, doesn't it? So let your body now just absorb it. Let your brain coordinate it. Tap, cross, and uncross. Again, cross, out, cross, and down. Have you got that yet? Well, now, if you do, stay with it. And if you want to challenge it, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to do heel, toe, heel, and down. Heel, toe. Oh, ultimate brain stimulation here. Heel, toe, heel, and down. I just lost it. Try it again. Heel. Don't be discouraged if your brain kind of takes a little wackadoodle for a second. Once in a while, it just says, what was it I was doing? But just get right back on it. Heel, toe, heel, and down. Are you forgetting about that standing leg? How it needs to balance you? Are you forgetting about your alignment? Chin parallel to floor, shoulders level. Heel, toe, heel. Last time, heel, toe. Now that was quite a brain challenge, so let's shake it off. Nice work. All right, that was level 1 from the floor. Now it's time for a little bit of coordination between proprioception and the brain. Let's do some step lunge. Right first. Lunge and hold your pressure, put it back. Lunge and hold your pressure, put it back. Now think about it. Feel how the muscles grip around your knee, your ankle, and your hip as you start to bear your weight into that lunge. Back, don't overgrip your hands, lunge. And I'm lunging right at the 1 level. Feel free to look down and try to bring the vision back up as soon as you're comfortable, if you are today. It's okay if you want to continue to look down. That's a goal. Get the vision up and hit the mark. Now focus on this for me. Heel before toe. Heel, toe, push back. Heel, toe, push back. Dig with your heel. Now here's where that ankle mobility comes in. You've got to be able to lift the toe and have that range of motion to do this pattern. And it helps because it keeps that pressure out of the kneecap as you step forward. You hit with the heel and then lightly drop the toe. That helps. That brings up a good point. Anytime a move doesn't feel right or it starts to aggravate a joint, reduce the range of motion, or when in doubt, leave it out. Good job. All right, now rest it out for a second. We're going to do that same thing, but on a diagonal. Crossing what? Midline, you're right. You want to exercise those hemispheres of the brain. So look down. We're going to take our right leg towards the 2. Ready? Lunge, step back. Now you have to pivot your body a little bit on this. So the knees and the toes and the hips move in the same direction. So think about that. Lazy Susan the whole body. Good. Again, catch the weight, bring it back. Lift the sternum. You always want to keep your body back behind these poles. You don't want to tilt and lean the head and shoulders too far forward. This is righting your posture by bringing it back up and keeping that head high. Working on equilibrium as you shift. Feel that connection. Push it back. Feel that connection. Now notice I'm bottoming the board out as I do this. You should be too. That's what's so nice about the board is it does bottom out. Good. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And then let's ease it out. Shake it off. Ready to work on a little more balance. We're going to take that same lunging pattern to the front, but we're going to do, Dan calls it the butt kicker, I call it a hamstring curl to the back, all right? So watch me and do it slow one time. Here we go. Step up, curl, step down, other side. Ready? Step up, curl, step down, back. So lunge to lift, step to floor. Lunge to lift, step to floor. Take that slow tempo to really, again, think about all those posture points I gave you. Head over shoulders, shoulders over hips, heel coming down first. Yes, heel to toe, roll. Nice. You know, that's very helpful also to recruit that form of ankle movement, because when you walk, you want to hit heel to toe. If you don't, guess what? You trip. So this is really important stuff. Try to balance that board. I know it's hard. Good. Ooh, that was wobbly for me. All right. Lift up, step down. 2 more. Lift up, step down. 1 more. Lift up and step down. Awesome. All right. Ready to put the pressure on? We're going to add a little more time in the up balance position and recruit in some of that cross crawls movement pattern we talked about, okay? So we're going to step, lift the knee up and hold it for 4, 3, 2, step down. Other side. Step, lift and hold for 4, 3, 2, and down. Let's do that again. Now think about what you have to do to pull up and maintain that center balance. Good, and step down. We're alternating our lifts. We're holding and steadying the board. Try to do it with your foot. Think about the bottom of your foot. Where is it pressing? Is the big toe having to push off and then the little toe contribute? Let your brain figure it out. Nice. Hold, chest up, level up. Good, and down. You know, it's also a great idea to do this when you're waiting in line. Just pick one foot up and see if you can hold it off the ground when you're bored and waiting in line, maybe at the grocery store. Keep it down low so nobody wonders what you're doing. Lift and hold. This is great for balance. And it's amped up because you're on this rocker board. This is where the conditioning comes in. All right, are you ready to move on to our cross brain stimulation? Tap, 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 and step down. Good. So 1, up, tap, 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 and step down. So that's 4 taps. Step, lift, cross the midline. Oh boy. Step down. Again. Step, up, tap, 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 tap. Good. Again. Up, tap, 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 and down. Nice. Take your time. Boom, 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 and down. Step. Hold that board steady. Cross the midline. Ooh, let's scramble that brain a little bit in a good way. Nice. Cross, 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 cross. Ooh, it's getting harder, isn't it? Stay focused. Cross. Smoothing it out, aren't you? Good. And down. All right, let's do one more. Whoop, almost missed that one. 4, 3, 2. Now look, my board is tilted all the way down. I should have stabilized better in the center. All right, step it off. Shake out the fingers. Excellent work. Brain and body are working together. Balance is on. Now let's work on timing and tempo and get our cardio up a little bit. We'll elevate the cardio, but before we get there, let's take a sip of water because we've been going a nice little while here. I'll check out if there's any comments. I think, well, thank you, Dan. In my dreams, I'm too young. Hey, there is no such thing as age, right? It's stage. How are you feeling right now? I'm on stage, so I feel pretty good. All right, did you take that sip? I hope everybody did. Wipe your hands on your towel. Let's get ready to do some cardio now. Here we go. All right, so anybody out there remember step aerobics? Well, I loved it when I worked for Reebok. It was my favorite activity. I know Dan taught it as well. So we're gonna do some basic stepping and we'll start real slow, okay? So you can get that mind to muscle connection. Basic step is up, up, and then down, down. Okay, same leg leads. So right, left, feel for it. 1, 1, 1, 1. So we're going nice and slow. Feel the connection. Pull yourself up. Help yourself down. Going up a stair, deciding, I don't want to go there. Good. Again, basic, real slow. See if you can do it and look up. Now, stepping or stair climbing is an excellent way to lift that heart rate, isn't it? Well, sometimes we don't know unless we're wearing a heart rate monitor, but you can monitor it a little bit through your breathing. If you're starting to breathe a little bit heavier, but not breathless, it's probably doing a great job. That's called the talk test or breath test. So if you can breathe, but it's not so easy that you can keep talking in full sentences, then you might not be working hard enough in your cardio. But on the other hand, if you have to take a few deep breaths between sentences, it's probably just right. Now we're still doing our slow step, basic step right, left up, right down, left down. Let's do 2 more. Keep that board as steady as possible. Thinking about a lot of things here. Nice. Now let's hold it in the down and do my little heel drops. My heel drops are like nice for the bone density of the hip, knees, and ankles. Just a little bounce or a drop of your heel, as long as that feels okay for you. Keep your belly pulled in and just feel that slight impact. Tighten up your core muscles, tighten up your pelvic floor. Nice. All right, back to an easy march. Now we're going to take that basic step a little faster tempo. Are you ready? Here we go. Up, up, down, down. Up, up, down, down. Nice and rhythmic. Up for 2 and down for 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look up if you can. Good. Find that stair. Excellent. Up, up, down, and down. 2 more. Up. Last one. All right, now we're going to take the wide version or the V version. So you step 2, rock 2, step off for 2. Again, single lead, meaning every time you start with the right leg. And we like to call this the V step. Why? V for victory, of course. As you learn the move, feel good about it. This one has a little bit more ambulation as it goes side to side. So you have to use those muscles to grip and slow down the board. So you're actually, it's almost like going up, hiking up a hill that's not so even. Hike up and climb. Good. Again, grab that hill, push down and come on back. Good job. Whew. Let's do 2 more. Let's do 1 more. Good work. And then let's bring it back to those little heel drops. Let's wiggle the fingers, do a little multitasking here, a little mix-up. Heel drops with fingers tapping. Now thumbs. Soft little heel drops, thumbs tapping. Let's try a little visual change. Look, right, center, left, center. Oh, so much going on here. My brain is multitasking. How about yours? All right, let's walk it out with the left lead. Now, what we did on the right, our brain likes us to do on the left. So we're going to start with that basic left. So up, up, down, down. I'm going right to the tempo version because I think you've got this. Up. But remember, you can always slow it down. Posture first, alignment tall, brain to body, connect that muscle, connect that footfall, feel it. Good. This is so functional because we do this step every time we step. Right? Up, up. And we don't always step backwards. But it's good to be able to control your body weight as you step back because sometimes we make a misstep and we have to catch our weight. So think about how you're recruiting those backside muscles. Good. Your quadriceps, your glutes and hamstrings. Beautiful. How about that wider V version? Ground it, step off it. This one's a little harder to do on tempo, isn't it? Because you almost have to rush to rock. But you know what? In life, sometimes we have to rush to rock. Or just to keep up. Ever been there? Basket, the cart at the market gets out of control. You've got to catch it and push it in the opposite direction. Down, 2. Again, remember, feet are on somewhere between 2 and 3 on this V step. Out, out, in, in. How about 2 more? Good job. Last one. Woo. All right. Shake it off. Hopefully your heart rate went up a bit. Let's get some water again. Did you notice that? Did you feel like your respiratory system was umped a little bit? On a scale of 1 to 10, 5 being moderate, somewhere in that 5 range? If so, then that was a good set for you. All right, now we're up on board. Toot toot. Welcome to the 60 Up Brain Train. Hop on board. All right, so we're going to step up carefully. Put your feet on 2 and 2. Now let's just get a feel for that sway, for that rock, for that beautiful action. Remember, when your brain is working right and everything's held tight, you feel a flow. You don't feel jiltness. You don't feel a stiffness. You feel like you're just easing over and back in perfect timing and coordination. So let's rock side to side. Now, I want you to do this rock by lifting the heel of one foot and bending the knee a little bit on that same side. Now, pull your core or engage those core muscles. Keep that sternum up, that head centered over the shoulders, light grip. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit with tempo here, and then we're going to add in some of that cross-lateral stuff that I talked about, okay? So first of all, let's pick up the tempo. A little bit faster. You're still doing that nice knee bend and heel lift through the ankle. You're nice and tall. Look down and check your feet occasionally. Ooh, this is going to keep that heart rate up a little bit too. Nice. Now we're going to go back nice and slow. So slow. Sink in. Bend that knee, lift that heel. Ready to add a little mind to muscle? Bear that weight. Feel how the straight leg is bearing more of your weight. Can you feel that? It's almost like you're almost on one leg, but not quite. Rocking side to side. Now let's see if you can coordinate this. Here comes the rub your head, pat your tummy part of this stuff. So with the knee that bends, I want you to push your hand against that pole, almost like you're pushing it slightly forward. So you've got the cross crawl press. Cross crawl press. Oh, that's been hard to say. Let's say that 10 times. Your brain will really love you. Let's keep going. Push cross, bent knee has a little hand pressure against that pole, little isometric contraction through the chest and shoulder, opposite to the leg that's bearing your weight. Oh, a lot going on here. All right, speed it up and let it loose. Don't worry about the arms when you do this. Go, go, go. Now when you're here, since we're not thinking about that cross crawl action, I want you to think about lifting up your pelvic floor, tightening and zipping up the muscles of the core. Nice. Do you feel that difference? Those are important muscles too, for lots of reasons. You want to keep them toned and tight and your brain connected to it. So pull up and zip up. The deep abdominals, the pelvic floor. Nice. Keep going. 4, 3, 2. Now slow it down. Here we go. Slow. And what did I ask for? Isometric press. Opposite arm. Pushing in as we bear the weight on the straight leg. Don't push too hard. I don't want you to break your poles. Just enough so you know that one arm is working a little harder than the other. Nice. Shift. Shift. The heel comes up. Boom. The arm presses forward or slightly in. That's it. This is cross lateral. Boom. Nice. Let's do 4 more. Let's do 3. Let's do 2. Let's do 1. And let's go back and cardio it out here. Little rock. Nice and light. Up through the core. Pelvic floor lifted. Realign that head. Chin parallel to the ground. Ears stacked right over the shoulders. Shoulders right over the hips. Nice. How you feeling? All right. We're going to do another one up here before I offer another water break. But be sure that if you need water, take your own break, okay? All right. Let's step those feet solidly to 2 and 2. We're going to do the leg strengthener series now. Why? Legs. They are the first line of defense and offense when it comes to fall prevention and recovery. You've got to be able to bend those knees and get those hips back to get down close to the floor and then on your way back up off the floor, right? Think about it. So as we do our little sit back squat, and I mean sit back, lead with your tailbone. I want you to imagine I have a string attached at your tailbone and I am pulling you back towards your back wall. Nice. You should, and I know it's hard because it will make you feel a little bit off center, you should be able to look down, and as you get back there, you should be able to easily see the tip of your toes. That means your knees are staying well behind the point of no return, and that's much friendlier on your knees. Now, if you can only do an inch of sit back, that's okay too. And again, wiggle your fingers every once in a while. Make sure you're not over gripping those poles. Nice. I want you to imagine that you're touching your bum on a tall stool behind you, keeping that board as steady as possible. Think about what has to happen to make this all happen. It's a lot. So feel good about it. If you get tired, rest. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And then we're going to go right into the next leg strengthener, which is the heel lift, calf raise. So we lift up the heels onto the toes. Heels to toes. Whoa, rocking around, aren't you? All right, steady it out. This is a hard set to follow. You can put your hands on the top of the poles if that feels better there. And I want you to feel like an elevator ride that doesn't just drop. Nobody wants to be on an elevator that drops on the way down, right? So slow on the up, control it on the down. That's the harder part, isn't it? It is for me anyway. This strengthens those muscles that surround the ankle and the calf muscles. It is also great for foot mobility. Let's do a couple more. Looking great. Let's do 1 more. Tighten up your core, pelvic floor, and down. All right, shake it off a little bit. Ooh, if you can let go and not feel unsteady, let go or let go of one arm and shake off that shoulder. Sometimes the tension just creeps right up where we don't want it, right? Okay, now we're going to combine those two for the dynamic duo, the squat to lift. Are you ready? All right, steady out first. Chest lifted, core tight. Here we go. So we squat the bum out, we pull the bum forward, we lift up to the toes, and we drop the heels. 1. Here we go. Let's do 8 of them. Down, up, toes, elevator ride down. Again. I'm counting. That's 3. Try to stabilize. I know you might bottom out on that one. That's okay, but come right back to center. Here comes 4. Don't look down. If anything, look kind of forward towards me on your screen. Because guess what? When we look down too much, our posture tends to want to go that way too. I think I lost count, did you? We'll say this is 6, okay? Talking and counting is another mind game, haven't quite mastered yet. All right, last one. So don't hold it against me if I made you do one more. And relax. All right, good job. Rock it out a little bit. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, let's take a little step off, bottom off to one side, step back, water break. This might be your last one before we end. So, well, I'll give you one more before we go into the cool down section. So, take a really nice swig. Let me see if there's anybody out there that needs anything. Well, so far, no comments, so I'm going to take that to mean you're hearing me. Okay. So what I want you to do is we're going to come to the side position, all right? And then you're going to bottom your board out on this side and step up with the leg closest to the pole and then the back leg. Now, this is a new position for some of you, so just get oriented. If you want, you're more than welcome to turn your board. Take a second to turn your board if you want to face me. But it's going to be pretty simple, so hopefully you can just gaze to the side and catch what I'm doing. You're going to take and hold the pole with the arm that's closest to the pole in front of you. Then you're going to take the leg that's in back and you're going to step it to the red line. Oh boy. Now we're in a tandem stance. Great for balance. Chest up. Oh, I like this position because you can see good alignment. Head over shoulders, shoulders over pelvis. That stays put every time you're standing. Little engagement in those abs, okay? Here we go. We're going to sailor rock. So rock it forward and back, holding on to this. Just start real gentle. Find that bottom out in the front, and then think about what you're doing. Mind to muscle. Contract that front thigh. Lift up now the front toe as you rock back into the heel on the back leg. All right, so what does this remind you of? Surfing? Well, I don't know about that one. But how about losing your balance and falling forward? And what do you need to do? Notice that front leg. You're catching your weight on it, and then you're propelling it back and catching your weight on the back leg. So front leg catch, back leg catch. Front leg catch, back leg catch. Good. That's it. Standing tall. You got it. Front leg catch. Woohoo! Rodeo. This is called the sailor rock, I believe. I might also call it the woohoo rodeo rock. We'll put the rodeo in it now. So we're going to make it a little more advanced if you're up for it. As you rock back, lift your knee up just slightly. Not so much to throw or pitch your entire body back. Notice that you've got, this is really good to work on equilibrium and that riding reflex of your head. Because you want to keep your head centered, because once you throw your head forward or back, your body reflexively sometimes goes with the pitch. So you want to keep the head and shoulders over each other. So again, rock back like you're catching your weight on that back foot and saying, no we don't, we go back forward. Let's do 2 more. Let's do 1 more. Nice. And then let's step the feet together. Whew, that front leg's a little tired, isn't it? So I'm going to show you one more exercise from this position. And this one is definitely designed to help with falls, okay? So what we're going to do, watch me one time. We're going to rock back, 1, 2, 3. Other foot, rock back, 1, 2, 3. So quick step on the back. Ooh, catch your weight. Fall, push out, catch your weight. Fall, push back, catch up with your body. So that's little small steps. They're part of the riding reflex to get your body and your equilibrium in line again. Boom, boom. Think about it. Fall, no I don't. I have to catch myself. Woo. Fall, no I don't. Nice. Let's do 2 more. Make sure you're comfortable with this. You don't have to do the run. And for you dancers out there, stop. Come back to center. That was your 60-up mambo cha-cha. Have to get some Latin music on for that one, right? All right. I know Dan's a dancer, so he can appreciate that joke. Not really a joke. All right, so now rock it side to side, and let's wiggle those fingers and just kind of clear the brain a little bit again. Whew. Now here's what I want you to do. Take a second, put your feet on 2 and 2, cross your hands. Oh, I hope you have pretty long arms, right? Cross your hands and tap. Find your center. Oh, find your center and see. Now, if your arms are short, maybe you can't do this. See if you can tap your fingers on either side and hold your balance. Chin up, chest up. What are we doing? We are crossing midline to stimulate the right and left hemisphere of the brain. Soften your knees a little. If you can't reach them, just do it like this. Or maybe even if you can let go, do it on your shoulders. Super packed. All right. What do we have to do? What we do on one side of the brain, we do on the other side of the brain. What we do on one side of the body, we do on the other side of the body. So I want you to bottom out over here and scooch over. Kind of just slowly turn your body so that you're facing that other direction. Once again, you're going to take the arm closest to the pole, put it on that front pole. You're going to take the back leg and step it onto the red stripe in front of you. And then we're just going to get our body and our brain together for some tandem rocking, sailor rock, forward and back. Remember, the thought is catch on your thigh, push back and lift your toe. Boom, smash a bug with that toe on the way forward, catch on the back leg on the way back. We are getting there. Whew. Yes, you got it. If you want, could we do arm movement? Sure. You can lift up with the toe, back with the heel, up with the toe, back with the heel, but make sure that you keep a nice plumb line from head to shoulder to hip, even if it's a diagonal plumb line, right? That alignment is key. All right, what did we do to make this a little tougher if you want? We lifted that front foot, and then that. And we lifted that front foot, and that. We pushed out of it, and we caught ourselves. And we pushed out of it, and we caught. Good, nice engagement. Feel how you connect through the ankle, foot, knee, dynamic tension in that thigh, catching your weight, and then exploding back. Well, not exploding, but propelling back. Good. Let's do 2 more. Nice work. Last one. And then we're going to step the feet together, do our little mambo cha-cha. Are you ready? Here we go. So, rock, step, 1, 2, 3. Pressure front, pressure back, catch up. Pressure front, pressure back. I want you to notice, if you can see me, if you're facing front, that I'm not letting my head get ahead of my shoulders or my shoulders get too far ahead of my hips. That's that posture, importance of posture in terms of fall prevention. Let's do 4 more. Let's do 3. Let's do 2. 1 more. All right. And ground it, step off. Nice, come to the front position. Our final few strengthening moves will take place from the ground. Are you good for that? Good to go? All right, feet about shoulder width apart. I want you just to lean in and bear a little weight in your upper body. Feel your muscles engage. Shoulders, triceps. Now, I want you to also lengthen your neck and keep your body alignment so that it looks really straight, like a plank. Think of this as a standing grip plank. Now, lift your right foot behind you and then just do a little slow curl with that back leg. Butt kicker. Nice. Think about what you have to do with the pressure on your foot, with the engagement of the muscles of your thigh to keep your pelvis as level as possible, your shoulders level, and your spine in that nice long line. Let's do 1 more. And then let's stand tall, 1 leg only. Aha. Whoop, whoop. Catch yourself, catch yourself. And then let's go ahead and shake off this foot. Yeah, you thought that one was working. Whew. That stability leg was working hard too. All right, ease it off, ease it off. Nice. We're going to repeat it. What? On the other side. Okay, now lean in. Engage your arms. Create that tension, that isometric feeling of muscle just gripping through the forearms, the shoulders, and the chest. Slide back the other foot. Should be your left one this time, if you followed me the last time. Here we go. Butt kicker, and it doesn't have to lift all the way. If you're not feeling real comfortable with this core work here, feel free just to bend or just barely lift the foot off the floor. Because I want you to be attentive to that standing leg, to that hip structure, to that spinal alignment. Breathing, that's always important too. Inhale and exhale. A couple more times. Ooh, I'm feeling it. How about you? Last one. Now bring that knee in and hold that last standing balance. Anybody brave enough to go there? All right, shake it off. We're ready to stretch and cool down. Congratulations for making it through my first Wellness Wednesday. Get some water. All right. You guys, I'm so glad you're still here with me. We're a little into OT overtime, but you're going to love this last bit. Always remember, the final part, the final segment, the cool down, is where you really absorb the beauty of what you've done and how good your body feels. So never cheat yourself of that. All right, let's sway. We're now in the wind. Palm tree in the wind. Good. Let your body just rhythmically figure out what it's got to do as you bend one leg and lean with your body. Nice. Think of a tree blowing in the wind. Let's do a couple more. Last one. Now bring it to the center. And let's hinge from the hips. Now I want you to stay here for a second and just absorb the static stretch in the back of the legs. Soften your knees just a bit, but don't overbend them, or you won't feel it in the hamstrings. Make sure your back is real flat here. Now hold on to this. Here comes the hard part. See if you can lift the toes and the ball of the feet, one foot at a time, stretching down the back of that leg. I'll show you from the side. All right? Good. I think we may have done something like this in warm-up too, but just not as long held or concentrated. That's the difference between the mobility work in the beginning and the end. In the beginning, it's all about getting ready. In the end, it's all about finishing up the chapter and putting it to sleep. Well, not to sleep. Hopefully you're not going to sleep. But feeling great about it. Good work. All right, now from here, stand up tall and push your hips forward a little bit. Open up this area, the hip flexor. Take one arm and lift it alongside your head and imagine that you're screwing a light bulb into the ceiling. Now I do want you to be arching just slightly back, but if you're arching back, it's very important that as you do so, you contract the abdominal muscles. I'm going to soften that music down a little bit. So contract those abdominal muscles, push the pelvis just slightly forward, and then let that arm come down. Now, you always have the option of holding your poles for balance. But if, on the other hand, you feel stable enough and steady enough, you're also always welcome to just be free-armed in space. Twist that light bulb, loosen up that shoulder, and then let that arm down. All right, now roll back and down. Step close to the back of your device so that you don't have to lean in too much for this. Just roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And remember that the back and down is the emphasized part of this movement. Nice. Now hold in the down. Hang on to the left pole and reach up and over like a slight C curve. Now try to keep your hips level and feel the stretch. The outside, the lateral side of the back and body. Maybe down towards the hip as well. Take a nice deep breath. You usually want to hold your concentrated or static stretching, about 3 to 5 deep breaths. That usually will put you right in the 20 to 30-second range, which is ideal. So other hand on pole, C curve, but not too far. You'll have to tighten your gluteal muscles and your abdominals just slightly. That's why I like to use the word engage. Just engage them, activate them, so that your body doesn't lean too far. Nice. Bring it back. Now let's just circle the hips around. In either direction will do. Loosening up that pelvic joint, pelvis, other direction. Nice and slow though, okay? Feel good about it. Breathe. Bring it to the center, and I want you to pivot and face your right side. I want you to put your left hand on that right pole, and I want you to twist and look behind you. So you open up that shoulder and chest, and you can bend the front knee a little bit, look behind, and stretch the spine through rotation. Nice deep breath, stay tall. Don't worry about looking at me on this, just get in the position and stretch. All right, gently look forward again, and bend the back knee and sink down just a little bit, tucking your fanny under and really opening up that hip flexor or the front thigh, which gets a little tight from too much sitting around. And then come out of it, shake it out a little bit, because that was a long time to be in that position. And then we're going to turn to face the other direction, holding on to that pole, sinking down a little bit, opening and rotating to look behind your shoulder. Now you can step a little bit away from your device, your 60-up trainer, and get more stretch in the chest and shoulder that way. But I want you, because you are twisting, I want you to feel really steady on this, okay? And if that's a little too, challenging for your balance, then just omit the head turn. Good job, everybody. Nice deep breath. Bring it back to the center. Again, dip down by bending the back knee towards the floor. Pelvic tilt a little bit and open up that hip flexor in the back thigh. Head, shoulders, hips, knees in the direction of the toes. Alignment, alignment, alignment. A, B, C. Brain to body. And then carry over to function. All right, let's bring it back to the center. Ease it out a little bit. Good job. Those are the goals of our workouts, guys. Improve your body alignment, improve your brain to body connection, and let's carry it all over into something that works out in our functional daily life activity. That's a home run when it comes to 60-up training. All right. Now let's stand together, feet together. If you're comfortable again, take your hands and cross the hands wide, crossing midline, and lightly tap your fingers up on your shoulders. If you want to challenge this, this is a relaxing way of letting the brain reset and reducing mental stress. Tap, tap, tap. If you want to close your eyes and sense what's going on, as long as you don't get a little too imbalanced, feel free to do that, or just kind of soften your eyes. Nice. Now let's bring the arms down. A little yoga breath for the brain. Place your finger against one side of your nose and inhale and exhale only through that one side. Doesn't that feel kind of great? Hopefully you don't have a stuck nose. Let's switch. Again, this is done in yoga to help balance the right and left side of the body and brain. Inhale and exhale. One more time. And then resume normal breathing. Lift your arms up Inhale, grab a piece of what's great about you, draw it through your body, and leave any stress or tension you don't want to take with you to the floor. And that completes our very first Wellness Wednesday workout. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm really hoping that you guys will leave me some comments today so that I can, come back and learn a little bit about you, and I'll share more about me as we go along too. I had a lot to get to today between introducing myself and giving you a little wellness tip and really making sure that we put those functional brain exercises in. So we'll try to get a little more chatty next time, all right? But until then, before I sign off, let me see if anybody's got anything here. Well, I see Dan is still here. Thank you, Dan, for hanging in there. I was listening to Dan yesterday, and he said, oh, Kathy's coming up. She's going to be better than me. Well, let me tell you something, Dan Metcalf. The 60 Up is your baby and brainchild, and although I'm a good babysitter, I'll never be able to replace Dan Metcalf on the 60 Up board. I can't believe how creative he is, and if this is your first class, do make sure that you tune in on Tuesday and Thursday for Dan, and you will agree with me. All right, so let's see. I have no other comments, a few hellos and a thumb up or two. So again, I just want to thank you guys for being here with me. And before I sign off, I want to remind you to connect that brain to your body, to take care of that body, and to lift your spirit with us here at 60 Up.